I'm here at the Susi Q, our partner and neighbor. My name is Dr. Jorge Ruban. I'm the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Medical Officer at the Laguna Beach Community Clinic. I'm here to introduce our next episode for our Live Well series, Senior Fitness. I'm hoping you'll join us as you'll get a sneak peek into 2 different classes offered here for our seniors in town. This video is brought to you in part by Whole Foods Market. So I'm here with Joanne Ekblad, Program and Communication Director at the Susi Q. We at the clinic are very blessed and fortunate to have a very strong relationship and partnership with you guys in helping take care of the seniors in town. And so I just wanted to introduce you to our patients and to the community and ask you how, when you're programming all these wonderful programs that you have for the seniors in town, how do you go about selecting the variety of stuff that you guys offer, which is a plethora of different things?
Well, thank you. Well, we love being next door neighbors. Our partnership goes back pre-pandemic. We did those drive-through flu shots or whatever and the health fairs, so we really appreciate our relationship with you so much. Programming, it's a wide spectrum. Yeah. But I've been with the center about 8 years now, and I've really gotten to know the seniors here. And, aside from the healthy, active lifestyle, social engagement that all senior centers provide, I really like to touch on meaningful programming. And when I say meaningful programming, I guess I'm talking about getting to know our seniors here, getting to know them. We have amazing seniors. They're ex-NASA scientists. They're ex-launch supervisors, during the 62 missile crisis. So they started science discussion groups here maybe 15 or 20 years ago that are still going on. And so keep those going on. Keep them coming back year after year. But I really do like getting to know our seniors and listening to what they like too.
Well, you and the management do such a wonderful job of not just taking care of the physical, but the mental and social and even spiritual care of the seniors in town. So thank you so very much for everything that you do and continuing to partner with the clinic.
Thank you so much.
I am very fortunate to be able to sit down with you today to talk to Mr. Wayne Lawrence in our next episode for our Live Well series. We're very fortunate to have Mr. Lawrence be the instructor at the yoga class at the Senior Center. And so we're going to sit down and talk to him a little bit about himself, his approach to the class, and how he helps our seniors in town. So thank you for being with us today, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you.
Introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us who you are.
Okay, I'm Wayne Lawrence, and I've been in Laguna since 1972, and been coming to the Senior Center since it opened, taking various exercise classes, yoga, and enjoying it.
Yeah. So how did you get started here at the Susi Q teaching the class?
Actually, probably 8-9 years now.
Okay.
And it's progressed. It's become, I think, more challenging for the elders. People in the class range in age probably from 65 to 90. I have one lady in here, 93.
Yeah, I heard you guys have four individuals greater than 90 years old, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And given that range, when you approach the class, how do you program the class to meet the different physical needs potentially in such a broad range of ages?
What I want them to understand, I do the movements, and there's, but for the individual, I always tell them, do what you can. Don't do anything that hurts. If it hurts, quit doing it or back off on it a little bit. And eventually, you can work up your strength to do a full-on whatever we're doing, whatever pose or arm movements that we're doing. So, in other words, as one teacher I had, there is no wrong way to exercise. The wrong way is not to exercise at all. So, and I always keep those thoughts in my head with the class. And some people have come in with some infirmities that were a little too much for them, but at least they came in and tried and found out whether, you know, and I'm talking someone that maybe, well, in a wheelchair or just not the body movement, you know, that he can do. But as you'll see, I mean, these people are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are. For someone like myself that maybe knows of yoga and maybe might be a little bit scared to come in because they don't have that flexibility or range of motion quite yet. I know you said you don't push them, but how does this class maybe differ a little bit from traditional yoga then?
This class is designed for the older senior. So I've tried to gear the class with yoga poses either standing or sitting. And there's a lot of yoga poses that you can stand and or sit. So that's what I aim the class for, that everybody has a chance to work it.
Okay. And for me, I think one of the biggest challenges I have with patients is it's always that motivational factor of getting them started. So as you know, the clinic is fortunate enough to help take care of a lot of seniors in our community. And so if I'm trying to get them in here with you and say, hey, check out this class, what do you think should be my selling point to them to help them get them in here with you?
That's a great question. Because motivation to do exercise, I think we're all aware you'd rather, you know, sit in a chair. I think in the first place, they could come in and just observe and see if they want to do it, see if they would be capable of doing it. So anytime they could, you know, just check in with Christine at the desk or Joanne and say, hey, I'd like to observe. I don't want to join the class. You're welcome. And I don't care if they even come in and try some of the moves out. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, good introduction for them. So.
Okay. And if you were to, like you said, you've been here about 8 years or so, taking care of our seniors in town and helping them stay active. Is there a particular success story that stands out, or an individual that you saw when you walked through the door maybe was a little bit more timid, and next thing you know, they could lead the class, you know?
I think that the most rewarding thing of the class for me is when an individual does come up to me and says, I can move my elbow where I couldn't do it before, or I can get up out of a chair at home where I had to struggle to get out of the chair. We have a move called Alexander technique for getting out of the chair. And I try to really stress it to them. You know, you're sitting on a sofa at home. You're in an easy chair, you know. You move to the front of the chair and you do your Alexander technique, and you'd be surprised. Pretty soon they're coming up and saying, I needed assistance. Now I get up and down and I don't have to. And the same way with other little aches and pains they might have. You get it moving, chances are 99%, I think, you're going to get rid of that pain or that stiffness.
Okay. Benefits you think of, besides the physical, like the flexibility, the balance, have you noticed any other benefits?
I think the important thing that we work on too is breathing.
Okay.
Most of us, and it sounds crazy, most of us forget how to breathe. Most of us go through and we're short breaths, and it's like, calm down and just breathe. And then let it out slow. And I stress that with them at the beginning of the class. We have our breathing, doesn't take long, and just breathe in, hold it, and let it out slow. I think that's the main thing of this class, or any yoga class. The movements are slow, they're not fast. Come in, relax, and just go through the exercise, and don't try to, think you have to rush. Okay.
So what was that name of that technique again?
Alexander technique.
Okay.
For getting up and down out of a chair. And the first thing you want to do is move to the edge of the chair. Right. Your feet are parallel. Okay. Now you can use your hands to help get you up if you want to, but the first thing you just hinge in the knees, leaning forward, lean your chest forward, and just lift yourself up. Very good. See, his knees did not go past the toes of his shoes, which it shouldn't. Now to sit down, it's just reverse. Lean forward, and then just lower your tush down to the chair. What do you think?
It's almost like doing a squat. Making sure you've got good posture.
Exactly.
And like you said, not having the knees go past the toes.
Right, right.
So it's definitely going to strengthen their balance.
It's going to strengthen their balance, their legs. How many of us, we're sitting here and we go to get out and we just, and we're struggling up out of, especially if it's a sofa. That's why it's important you move to the edge of whatever you're sitting on. And then just lean the chest forward and come on up.
Are there any modifications for someone who maybe does not have that full strength to be able to, you mentioned using the hands? Or
your hands. You can put your hands down here and swivel right up. Yeah?
Yeah.
Helps.
Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, it does. And again, practice makes perfect. I mean, if they really have a trouble, getting up and down, this is going to help. I had one guy in the class, and he was with a cane. He had a terrible motorcycle injury. And I don't know, after being in the class a few times, he says to me, I can get out of the chair without assistance now doing the Alexander technique.
He quoted the technique's name and everything?
I don't remember that.
No, but it's a small thing, but I think that this would make a huge difference in someone's...
It is. And my yoga teacher, who is also my mentor and helped me with the class, Carrie Pitt, she'd have us up, sit, up, and she'd say, do you realize all of the muscles and things you're using in your whole body when you're doing that?
Thank you for everything that you do for everyone in town, and again, helping take care of that patient population, which I think it's so important that if you don't move it, you lose it, like you said, and I know it adds so many other health benefits to them. So thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm fortunate to be able to sit down with Mr. George Heed here, who is, for lack of a better term, an icon in town. We're very blessed to have him have a strong history with the clinic, and not only has he been our board president, head of governance, head of finance, but he's also entrusting us with his health as a patient of the clinic as well. But he's here to share with us how he benefits from the yoga class at our strong partner, the Susi Q. So good morning, George. How are you today?
Good morning, Jorge. It's good to see you. The synergy between the Susi Q and the clinic is absolutely natural. For a simple example, when I need an appointment, I get it right after the yoga class, so I just have to walk next door. But, as we age, things start coming up. And what's going on over here is really preventative maintenance. It's keeping you limber. It's keeping you moving. It's got a strong function towards maintaining balance. And Wayne Lawrence, the instructor, is absolutely terrific. And the clinic you've got Live Well, and over here I think it's Lifelong Lagoon, but they just fit beautifully. I've enjoyed coming here. It's also, I got to say, you had asked in an earlier interview about reasons people came, or the longevity. People come here to experience this class or see what it is. They come back because of Wayne Lawrence and the work that he does and makes you feel so welcome. They stay because of one another. This group has probably got a less of an attrition rate than any fat farm on the face of the earth. And that's not what it is. But it's good. It's a great social outlet. Nobody is, we're not pushed. You want to work at the maximum level you're capable of working at. And everybody in the class is a little bit different. And the age spread, I was thinking I was one of the youngsters. I'm 76, but I think maybe we do, from what Wayne had said, that we probably do have a couple of youngsters in the group.
So they get here for the physical activity, but then they get the socialization, they get to hang out with friends, and then they get exposed to a plethora of other potential opportunities to improve their health as well.
Absolutely, and it's not just physical health, it's mental health also.
Yeah.
There are many outlets for that.
So how did you find out about the class?
My good friend, Dr. Corey Jorgensen, had taken it earlier, and we were talking about it, but I have been involved with Susi Q very early on. I got tapped by Ann Quilter during the planning stage. They hadn't even dug a hole yet. And so that was good in what they were planning for. And it stayed here all the way through. I came because I was invited. I've stayed because I like it. That's it.
And so for you personally, what do you think are some of the biggest benefits that this has had for you in terms of your both physical and mental health then?
Well, physically, it allowed me to forestall getting some hip surgery and probably put it off 3 or 4 years. Mentally, this is a good group to try and keep up with. They're well read, and afterwards, there's always a lot of chatter. And I've gone to several presentations here, one of which you led. And I've got to tell you, that one was, part of it was on holistic medicine and diet and scents. And tell Lauren I got rid of all of the perfumed stuff in the house. And that was a benefit. And that's the type of thing that's here. As I said earlier, the Susi Q and the clinic fit. They've got, in many ways, parallel purposes.
We do.
And, that's my medical home, too. I've been there for, a long time.
Yeah. We're very fortunate to have them be a strong partner, just like we are very fortunate to have you be a strong supporter of the clinic. And as always, thank you for sharing your time and your insight on different things going on in town.
Well, I believe in what we're doing with both organizations. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.